Well, hey, folks, we want to spend a little time right now thanking some folks who helped us keep the House and helped make sure that conservatives won where they're supposed to, and that's the good folks at Patriot Mobile Action. And we're joined right now by Leigh Wambsganss, who is the executive director of Patriot Mobile Action. Now, you guys did some good stuff for us in Texas, and I like your Christmas tree. I like the white one. That's stylish and festive. But let's celebrate that victory. Tell us what it was.
So we knew we had a big job ahead of us to save Tarrant County because, for example, in 2018, Cruz lost Tarrant County by a 3-point loss, and in 2020, Trump lost Tarrant, won Texas, but lost Tarrant by just under 1%. So obviously Tarrant was going in the wrong direction. So with all of the awakenings of conservative parents who have thankful to COVID, realized what was going on in their schools and stepped up and started voting. A lot of them got off of the couches and came back to vote. So whereas the last 2 general elections, we lost the top of the ticket, we executed, worked very hard, were feet on the street, and Abbott won Tarrant by 4%. So we went from in the last 6 years, top of the ticket, it's the first time we've won in Tarrant again. We were still winning down ballot races, but we had lost the top of the ticket and we were losing steadily, slowly but surely, more and more ground. So we feel like we're starting to claw that back here in Tarrant County, Texas.
Well, thank you for clawing that. And I hope that's something we can scale and move around. Now, you mentioned the parents seeing what's going on in their kids. I live in Virginia. And I can tell you, we had a governor's race here where Terry McAuliffe, Clinton Toole, horrendously awful human being, was running against Glenn Youngkin. And I was at a debate watching party at the big Crystal City Sports Pub, and everyone in the room heard him say the one thing that took his campaign down. He said parents should not have control of their kids' education. That should be left to the highly trained educrats. And everybody's jaw dropped in the room. And I think that's what happened. Like you said, COVID forced parents to see the things that they weren't seeing before. Do you think that issue is, to me, the one that seems the least partisan and the most family and America oriented? Is that just the one we should spread everywhere?
Absolutely. I'll tell you whose jaw didn't drop when he said that, and that's the people who are behind this agenda, because they've known that for a long time, and that is their belief. The bottom line with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, the most dangerous part of that philosophy is equity, because it dumbs down the curriculum and the education of our America's students. And why would you want to dumb down America's students? Because a population that's uneducated is a population that's easier to control. So I want to thank him for saying out loud what the liberals have been doing for literally decades.
And I think it's something, like you said, that once parents saw, you can't unsee it. There's no amount of eye bleach that's going to say, wait a minute, okay, why do we have to have a drag queen story hour? Why are drag queens somehow essential to the education of my kid? But even worse, when you mention that DEI, the diversity, equity, inclusion, the equity one is equality of outcome. Equity sounds nice. Oh, we should have equity. But when it becomes what they actually mean, they are going to game the system so that everyone's achievements are considered the same regardless of what they actually achieved. And that helps no one. It hurts the high achievers, and it doesn't help the low achievers to get a participation trophy they didn't earn. So, I mean, again, I think that's a beautiful thing for parents to know.
Well, absolutely. And it also takes away meritocracy, which is what America's always about. Our country, in our country, you can achieve anything if you work for it, but you should have to work for it. And that is one of the basic tenets of our freedoms. And so when you are indoctrinating these kids into these dangerous, delusionary processes and procedures, you are simply trying to raise a generation of robots. And I think one of the worst things you can say to a mama bear is that's not your baby. I think America and Texas, and especially Tarrant County, spoke loud and clear at the ballot in November.
Well, I want to congratulate Patriot Mobile Action for your get out the vote work and the other things you did to raise those issues, because I think it's a winner for our team. I think people understand that Hillary Clinton said it takes a village to raise a child. And while a village can help, that child it is the duty of the parents to ensure that the right things are taught and that kid learns the right things. So thank you, Leigh Wambsganss, who is Executive Director of Patriot Mobile Action. Good work. This is Jim Hanson. We will